Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Betting Insights. I'm Timothy alongside Sergio. Sergio, welcome.
Hey Tim, hey everybody.
Yes, welcome back, everybody. Be sure to smash the like button, and also, if you're new to the show, be sure to subscribe. We are giving out picks for 5 different club competitions across Europe: Serie A, La Liga, Premier League, Bundesliga, and the Eredivisie. Now, we are doing this weekly, and last week we actually had a great week last week. Now, two teams that just absolutely ruined a great week, Leipzig and Juventus. I'm still pissed about those picks. Just
Don't
absolutely
talk about
horrible,
it.
but we'll get into that. Other than that, it was a very good week and very profitable. So let's look to keep that up. And today we are starting with the Bundesliga. First game on the schedule, Frankfurt hosting Augsburg. Frankfurt wins set at 1.61. Augsburg wins set at 5.75. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, this is a spot where I just like the over 2.5 goals. Frankfurt, they played a midweek game where they got shut out and lost 3-0 to Leipzig, but that was kind of a bad spot for them. They're still second in the league, 31 goals scored, like second highest scoring team in the league. And Augsburg, although they're not scoring that much, they do allow a lot of goals and score more than a goal a game, average over a goal a game. So this is like an easy over 2.5 goals. Sergio, are you doing something here?
Yes, then Leipzig decided to win. But yes, against Augsburg, yeah, I think Frankfurt, of course, is the favorite. I'm gonna yeah put Frankfurt in one of my bets this weekend. Maybe Frankfurt win, both teams to score. I don't like the over 2.5 that much. Maybe it's just gonna be a 1 or 2 goal game, I think. So I'm just going for a Frankfurt win.
I'm not so sure, but if you say Frankfurt wins and both teams to score, like obviously you're getting the over 2.5, right? And I can understand what you're saying, but I do think Augsburg will get on the score sheet here. Frankfurt's not really a good defensive team. They allow like 1.5 goals a game. So Augsburg can easily score a goal here. I like the over 2.5, but Frankfurt being at home, I guess I expect them to win this game. And also Augsburg also played in midweek, played extra time, so that kind of strengthens your point about Frankfurt just winning this game. I do think they will win. I'm sticking with the over 2.5. You like Frankfurt, no harm, no foul. Let's get to the next game. Holstein Kiel, hosting Leipzig. Holstein Kiel wins set at 5.6. Leipzig wins set at 1.61. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, I like Leipzig here, and I would love them if I wasn't so salty about last week, where they just absolutely ruined my Saturday. I was supposed to have a perfect best bets for Saturday. Leipzig just absolutely ruined that. But still, Kiel is like second to worst team in the league. Can barely score a goal a game, while Leipzig they bounced back great against the with a win against Frankfurt in midweek, and I expect them to keep that up here. So Leipzig winning this game, I like it. Like I said, I actually would have loved it if not for last week. Sergio, what are you doing here?
Yeah, no, actually, I'm gonna stay a little bit salty. I'm gonna skip Leipzig this weekend. I really, it was a really disappointing for me because um, I had a perfect slip, so to say, and Leipzig is the only game that ruined it for me. So, following my tradition, I'll just skip this team for 2 or 3 weekends. But yeah, I expect them to win also. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep my tradition going and just skip them. I don't trust them as much as last week.
Yeah, like I'm kind of on the same train, which is why I'm not making it a best bet. Like if I wasn't salty, I would have made it a best bet. I'm still gonna bet him, but not making a best bet. So let's just get to the next game. Next up, Leverkusen hosting St. Pauli. Leverkusen wins set at 1.24. St. Pauli wins set at 12.5. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now like it's either parlay Leverkusen with another team to get some good value, but 1.24, you just can't lay that. And the over 3.5, is a bit much for me, especially you might be relying solely on Leverkusen to score 4 goals in this game. I don't think that's obviously it could happen, but I'm not expecting help from St. Pauli, right? St. Pauli doesn't they don't average in a goal a game, average less than a goal a game, so I'm not sure they will score in this game. So I'm staying away from the over. Or are you doing something here?
And the history between these two teams, yeah, it's not really, yeah. Let's say the last time they played against each other was in 2014. And Leverkusen is a totally different team now, and I think St. Pauli also, of course. But I think I'm just gonna, yeah, skip this one. Bayer Leverkusen odds are just a little bit too low, I think, and yeah, like you said, over 3.5, just too much. So mm, I will skip this game also.
Yeah, and next up, also a game we're probably both skipping. At least I'm skipping it. I think you will skip it also. Bayern Munich hosting Heidenheim. Bayern Munich wins set at 1.08. Heidenheim wins set at 30. Line for the total goal set at 3.5. Now, Heidenheim back-to-back games where they got shut out. They're on 4 straight losses overall. Bayern Munich lost in midweek against Leverkusen. No foul there. They played with 10 men for a big portion of the game. Still first in the league. They basically don't allow too many goals, just allowed 8 goals on the season. So not sure Heidenheim scores in this game. And although Bayern Munich can easily push this over by themselves, they do have a lot of games where they just win 1-0, 2-0. So this could be another one of those games. So I'm not laying the over 3.5. Are you doing something here?
No, Bayern will win this game for sure. I don't think a lot of goals are gonna be scored also. There's also a Champions League match waiting for them. I think it's on Wednesday. So yeah, I think they'll focus on that also, and try to keep a little bit of the energy in reserve. So just a 2 or 3 goal game maybe. So yeah, but still a Bayern Munich win.
Yeah, I agree there. All right, next up, Bochum hosting Werder Bremen. Bochum wins set at 3.3. Werder Bremen wins set at 2.23, line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Bochum, just the absolute worst team in the league. Werder Bremen not in great form themselves, just won 2 out of the last 5 matches. But Bochum back-to-back losses, back-to-back games where they got shut out. But both of those games were on the road. Now they return home. And listen, they haven't been great at home, but they might see this as an opportunity to at least get a point. So I think they will show up here in this game. I'm not trusting Werder Bremen to go on the road and win this game. They have back-to-back road losses, and I know in the beginning of the season they were kind of on a hot streak with games they won on the road. But if you really dive into those games and you watch those games, they were really fortunate, beat a Hoffenheim team that has already fired their coach. But Hoffenheim was up 3-0, received a red card, and then they just completely collapsed. Also beat a Wolfsburg team who also received a red card. So kind of fluky. I don't trust Werder Bremen going on the road. If I'm making a play here, it's going to be double chance Bochum and over 1.5 goals for the total game. Or are you doing something, you said you?
Yeah, I'm going the other way. I'm really going for a Werder Bremen win here. Like you said, Bochum worst team in the league, just 2 points. Yeah, Werder Bremen, yeah, not that great, but I think that for them, this is an opportunity to win an away game against Bochum. So I think I'm just going for a Werder Bremen. The odds are very interesting, and against Bochum, I think it's worth to take the risk for Werder Bremen.
Now, the reason why you're taking Werder Bremen is the same reason why I'm leaning towards Bochum. Like, I know they don't have a lot of points, but they will, history tells you they will start picking up points at some point, right? And against a team like Werder Bremen, playing at home, that's like the perfect spot to at least get a draw. So that's why I'm staying away from Werder Bremen. I'm not playing them. But listen, man, I agree with you. There's a lot of value in taking Werder Bremen. I just don't trust them. All right. Next up, Gladbach hosting Dortmund. Gladbach wins set at 3.3. Dortmund wins set at 2.14. Line for total goals set at 3.5. So now I like the over 3.5, kind of a little bit rich for me. I will bump that down to over 2.5 and pick both teams to score. Listen, Dortmund, I just don't trust them going on the road. I know they're the better team here, but listen, the last game they won on the road against Dinamo Zagreb was the first road win after six straight losses. And we know Gladbach at home, a tough nut to crack. Now sitting on five straight wins overall. Now they haven't played like world beaters during that 5 game stretch, so not sure they're a good team, even great at home or something. But this Dortmund, just you can't trust them on the road. Give me Gladbach in this game, but I'm gonna play the over 2.5 and both teams to score. What are you doing here, Sergio?
I'm going for the over 3.5. I think there's gonna be a lot of goals scored this game. Dortmund usually, they score a lot, and if you look at the history between these two teams, there are always a lot of goals scored. In the last six, no, they won the games went for 6-0, 4-2, 5-2, 4-2. So I think the over 3.5 is really the way to go here.
All right. I don't hate that pick. I kind of like it. Like I said, I don't love it. It's why I bumped it down to over 2.5, but over 3.5 could easily hit. All right. Next up, Wolfsburg hosting Mainz. Wolfsburg wins set at 2.1. Mainz wins set at 3.65. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, I would say two of the hardest team, but two teams that are in really good form heading into this matchup. Wolfsburg, four straight wins and no losses in the last 5 games. Mainz, three straight wins, one loss in the last 5 games, but that was against Bayern Munich. So no harm, no foul there. And if you look at the standings, goal difference, not a lot to separate these two teams. Kind of dead even. So in cases like this, you just have to lean towards the home team, right?
Yes, of course. Uh, or the goal difference. I think over 2.5 is also I think the way to go. This will can easily be a 2-1 game. So yeah, I'm going for a Wolfsburg win or maybe the over 2.5.
I agree with you. Those are the only two plays you should look at in this game, over 2.5 or a Wolfsburg win. All right, next up, Hoffenheim hosting Freiburg. Hoffenheim wins set at 2.8. Freiburg wins set at 2.65. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, another game where I just like the over 2.5 goals. I know Hoffenheim's playing at home, still don't care, don't trust them. They fired their coach and they beat Leipzig 4-3. Another week where they kind of ruined a pick where I was backing Leipzig, but still, listen, I'm also still salty about that, but that let's get that out of the way. After that, three straight losses where they haven't even scored a goal. So that's just absolutely crazy. All three of those games they allowed at least two goals. And listen, I don't get why we're getting this much value on Freiburg. I will also sprinkle something on Freiburg winning this game, but I like the over 2.5 goals. I think Hoffenheim being at home, they can score a goal in this game because the three straight losses were all on the road. Now they return home. They should get a goal here, but Freiburg should at least score twice. Give me the over 2.5. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm also only going for the over 2.5. Yeah, this can also easily be a draw. So yeah, I think the over 2.5 is maybe the best way to go.
All right. Now that wraps up the Bundesliga. Let's get to the Premier League. First game, Everton hosting Liverpool. Everton wins set at 7. Liverpool wins set at 1.52. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now Freiburg, sorry, still thinking about Freiburg. Everton finally got back to winning ways, smashed Wolverhampton 4-0 in midweek, while Liverpool was involved in an absolute thriller against Newcastle United. 6 goals, a draw, 3-3. No problem. Going on the road at Newcastle, tough place to play. And after such an emotional win against City, They probably were gonna let their guard down a little bit. So, but Liverpool doesn't allow a lot of goals, so I don't expect Everton to score in this game, which is why I'm not taking the over 2.5. I'm probably just gonna take Liverpool for a win here. Low value, but for me, that's the only way to go. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip this game. Yeah, Liverpool win, like you say, low value, and the over 2.5. I think the over 2.5 can hit because Everton, when they play against Liverpool, they always get a little bit extra energy and motivation. So I'll
Well, not the recent history doesn't tell us that. First of all, before the before the Wolves win, Everton got shut out in four straight games, and if you look at the head-to-head matchups, they also got shut out in five straight games. So, um, recent history doesn't tell us that Everton scores when they play in Liverpool. All right, so probably a low-scoring game. If you look at the recent history, no more than two goals, which is why I'm just gonna take Liverpool for a win here. Um, Listen, like I said, I don't expect too many goals.
Yeah, but the last time they played against each other, Everton won. So
Yeah,
yeah,
but still under 2.5 goals.
yeah, yes, but that's why I think now they're playing at home, so I'll give them a goal. So, but Liverpool will win for sure. So I'll just go for the over 2.5 if I would bet on it.
All right. No, I'm not taking the over 2.5. Probably just taking Liverpool for a win. And I think parlaying Liverpool with Bayer Leverkusen, that should give you some good value. Two teams that should absolutely win this weekend. All right, next up, Crystal Palace hosting Manchester City. Crystal Palace win set at 5.6. City win set at 1.66. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, not much to say here. City winning 1.66. One of my favorite bets this weekend. You won't get that much value from City playing a team like Crystal Palace. Now, I know City was in a rough spot where they were like seven straight games where they didn't win. Finally got back to winning ways, 3-0 against Nottingham Forest. And this a team like Crystal Palace, 17th in the league, averaging less than a goal a game. So even if City was still in a rough spot, I would still take them against a team like Crystal Palace on the road. Still would take them. Don't care. Give me City, one of my favorite bets for this weekend. What are you doing here?
Yeah, yeah. Also, City, also going for City, and I don't even want to try the both teams to score. City win. Crystal Palace scoring at home. It's a chance, but a really small one. So I would also just go for the City win.
Yeah, like the game City lost, or at least the seventh straight where they didn't win. First game against Tottenham, Crystal Palace not on that level. The only team that comes close to Crystal Palace is Bournemouth, but Bournemouth's still better, especially at home, and just have a better. At least they can score goals, while Crystal Palace can't score goals. So taking City, you just have to take City here. Don't even think about taking Crystal Palace. All right, next up, Aston
No.
Villa hosting Southampton. Villa wins set at 1.37. Southampton wins set at 8.5. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Not really looking at the over 3.5 goals here. A little bit too rich for my blood. I'll just take Aston Villa on the money line. Low value 1.37, but look to parlay them with another team. That's the only way to go here. They finally got back to winning ways, where they just smashed Brentford, and that was a good spot for them after a couple of losses. Go home, hosting Brentford, a team that basically can't win on the road. And now you're facing kind of the same team like Southampton, a team that really struggles on the road. So give me Aston Villa money line. Look to parlay them with another team. What are you doing here, Sergio?
Yeah, I agree. Aston Villa win, but 1.36, yeah, still just it brings your total odds down if you put them on the slip. So I would just skip this game also for yeah, Aston Villa win, of course, but still a little bit too low.
Yeah, but just like a two-team parlay, like Aston Villa and Liverpool or Aston Villa and Leverkusen. Like if you parlay just two teams, then you get an odd like maybe close to two. That gives you some good value. And like those three teams, I think all three of them will win. So you could combine all three. I would just probably take like two of them and then and make a two-team parlay. All right. Next up, Brentford hosting Newcastle. Brentford wins set at 3. Newcastle wins set at 2.35. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Brentford at home, still undefeated. But listen, the undefeated at home for Brentford, it's kind of fluky. If you really dive in, like, okay, they won against Southampton, that's a bad team. They won against Wolves, also one of the worst teams. They won against Leicester City before Van Nistelrooy, and I'm not even sure Van Nistelrooy will do a great job. At least they got a win in midweek, but it remains to be seen. The other wins, not impressive wins. Brentford at home, so the undefeated doesn't really tell me that much. I still like Newcastle. I still think they're a better team, and picking up a draw against Liverpool in midweek 3-3 should give you a huge confidence boost. So I'm just gonna back Newcastle here. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm going the other way. I'm going for Brentford here. I think was yeah, waiting for this game since last week, and actually it did me very good to know that they lost against Aston Villa. So yeah, they lost their away game. So now at home against Newcastle. Yeah, for me, Newcastle also not in that. Great shape the last three games. Okay, 3-3 against Liverpool, but yeah, we can discuss about the goals. But still, I would just go for Brentford playing at home. So yeah, three. The odds are three, so I think it's a good chance to play a game with high odds.
Listen, man, I it's never a bad spot to back the home team, all right? So, but I'm just gonna back you here not to take Brentford. Listen, man, Newcastle, they've won five straight games against Brentford. They have the better squad. They have momentum heading into this game. No way Brentford's winning this game. I'm gonna take Newcastle. We'll revisit this next week, but listen, man, I'm begging you, don't take Brentford. All
I think I already made up my mind. I'm just going for that. When someone tells me not to do it, I have the urge to do it. So
all right.
I'm just gonna go for it. No, I think Brentford, like you said, they lost five straight against Newcastle. And every time they lose, a win comes closer. So
Yeah, but this will be
I'm
six.
going for Brentford.
All right. Next up, Manchester United hosting Nottingham Forest. United wins set at 1.75. Forest wins set at 5.4. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, just an absolute no-show from United in midweek against Arsenal. Don't know what the hell they were doing. At least now they go home, where they've been solid, at least. And Nottingham Forest, they kind of showed you their true colors, especially when they play good teams on the road, right? Back to back, 3-0 losses against Arsenal, again against City. And I know United's nowhere near Arsenal and Manchester City at this moment, but Nottingham Forest, man, you can't trust them going on the road. They don't have a really good road win. The 1-0 win against Liverpool, kind of an upset, really fluky. Other than that, draws, losses. They haven't really looked like the same team when they're playing on the road. So good spot for United. I'm gonna back United here. What are you doing?
Yeah, 1.73. I'm also gonna back them for a win. Yeah, I'll just play United for the win against Nottingham Forest. You already said everything that needs to be said. So yeah, but I'll also go for the United win at home.
Yeah, and crazy. Just given the obviously United, they have a different coach. They were in bad shape. They still have a better difference than Nottingham Forest. So that should also tell you something. And kind of crazy that. All right. Next up, Ipswich Town hosting Bournemouth. Ipswich wins set at 3.5. Bournemouth wins set at 2.08. Line for total goal set at 2.5. I don't really have a dog in this game. Trying to stay away from this game. Ipswich, they can cause trouble playing at home and Bournemouth on the road. Um, Obviously also coming off an emotional high, winning against Tottenham in midweek. Not gonna back them going on the road. Their play at home doesn't seem to be carrying over on the road. So even though they're playing a bad team like Ipswich, still not convinced they will win this game. What are you doing here?
I'm still gonna try Bournemouth. Yeah, this weekend against Ipswich. Let's say it can be that difficult team, almost last in the league, and so I think Bournemouth has a chance to get a few more points. And Ipswich is I think one of the best opponents to do so. So I'll uh, I'll go for Bournemouth this weekend.
Not a bad pick. Probably gone to my head. I'd probably take Bournemouth, but just gonna skip this game. All right, next up, Leicester City hosting Brighton. Leicester City wins set at 4.9. Brighton wins set at 1.75. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Leicester City, they won their first game under Ruud van Nistelrooy, 3-1 against West Ham. But don't take too much out of that game. West Ham is just in absolute bad shape at the moment. While Fulham, I know they're coming off a loss. Sorry, Brighton, I know they're coming off a loss against Fulham. So back-to-back road games, kind of a tough spot. But the gap between Brighton and Leicester City is just so big at this moment. There's no way you can back Leicester City here. I think the new coach bump should have played out and after the win against West Ham United. So I'm just gonna take Brighton here. What are you doing, Sergio?
Do you think the new coach was already worked out?
No, we saw that in the Hoffenheim game. They beat Leipzig first game under the new coach 4-3. After that, lost three straight games. So if you don't have the players, the new coach bump, it doesn't stay for too long, right? So Brighton's a good team, and they should cause a lot of trouble for Leicester City, and they're deservedly the favorites in this game. I expect them to win, actually very easily. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think I agree. I'll the over 2.5, yeah, 1.58. Yeah, also something to look at. Maybe Leicester scores a goal. The new coach Bob maybe will help them score a goal still, but I agree. I think it will be a Brighton win, and at 1.75, I'll jump on that train also.
All right. Next up, Fulham hosting Arsenal. Fulham wins set at 5.5. Arsenal wins set at 1.64. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Arsenal, four straight wins were the last game against Man United. They didn't really look that dominant, still won 2-0. But four straight wins where they deserved to win all four of those games. They just were the absolute better team. So kind of coming back into form. Fulham, after back-to-back games where they didn't win, finally won again against Brighton. But still Arsenal's in better form. So jumping on Arsenal, also jumping on the train.
Yeah, but yeah, it's starting to get a little bit risky now, because Liverpool, City, Brighton, all away games. Arsenal now also an away game. Yeah, so one of them, I think one of them is gonna slip up, and I'm hesitating between Brighton and Arsenal, but I'm convinced Brighton has a better chance of winning. Fulham, derbies are always difficult, so I'll go for Brighton and Arsenal. No, I'm still hesitating. Maybe the over 2.5 at 1.72. I think I rather go for the over 2.5.
Yeah, that would be my play in this game. Kind of agree with everything you said. And also, if I'm looking at the Sunday slot, where all four road teams are favorite, not sure all four will win, and I'm also hesitating if Arsenal will win this game. So I'm gonna jump on the over 2.5. Both of these teams they can score goals. Arsenal 2 goals a game, Fulham close to 2 goals a game, 1.5 and to be exact. So I could see this really getting over the 2.5 goals. That would be the best play for this game, at least for me. All right. Next up, Tottenham hosting Chelsea. Tottenham wins set at 3.35. Chelsea wins set at 2.08. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now Chelsea, they're really starting to look like one of the better teams in the Premier League. Um, Standings second, so 31 goals scored, 15 allowed. They're really coming into form. Tottenham, they can also score goals. 28 scored, also 15 allowed, so pretty close to Chelsea. But for some reason, they don't seem to be picking up a lot of points. So I'm I'm just gonna back Chelsea. They think they're a better team. They've shown me more over the course of this season. Even though they're on the road, it's tricky in this game. What are you doing?
Yeah, this season I don't think I'm betting Tottenham. I think Tottenham is one of the top teams that you can bet against. Like Real this season. So, yeah. So I'm also going for Chelsea. The over 3.5. It's possible, because Tottenham, if they find their groove, it's usually a team that scores a lot. But maybe the Chelsea win is still the best way to go. So I'll also go for Chelsea win.
All right. Still a game left in the Premier League?
Yeah, but it's a Monday game. West
Yeah,
Ham.
Monday, your favorite day of the week.
Yeah.
West Ham hosting Wolves. West Ham win set at 2, Wolves win set at 3.9, Lion for total goals set at 2.5. I don't think I'll be betting this game. Like these are like I already touched on it earlier. West Ham is just in absolute bad shape, and Wolves, they won 2 games in a row, and now they look like the Wolves again that couldn't buy a win. So I'm skipping this game. Or are you doing something?
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. Monday, yeah, West Ham, it's too risky, and especially on a Monday. So yeah, skipping also.
All right. Next up, Go Ahead Eagles hosting NEC.
That's the
Um,
Eredivisie, right?
Yeah, the West Ham last game of the Premier League. So to stop with the Premier League, let's get to the Eredivisie. First game, Go Ahead Eagles hosting NEC. Go Ahead Eagles win set at 2. NEC win set at 3.85. Line for total goal set at 2.5. The only play I'm looking at here is the over 2.5 goals. Go Ahead Eagles just completely collapsed against FC Twente. We're up 2-0. Allowed 3 straight goals, lost 3-2. NEC lost kind of a looked like a close game against Ajax 2-1. So both of these teams not really high on confidence. So I'm just looking at the over 2.5. What are you doing here?
I'm looking for the NEC win here, actually. Yeah, NEC, mm, 2 straight losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but it was against Ajax and Utrecht, so that can happen. But against Go Ahead Eagles, I think they have a chance of winning again. And if you look at the games they played against Utrecht and Ajax, they played very good football. I didn't think they deserved to lose, especially not against Ajax. So Go Ahead is not on that level. So I'll take a risky move again and go for NEC win. Although they're playing, yeah, away. Go Ahead Eagles, not that good this season, and especially at home. It's not like last season where they were almost unbeatable at home. That's different this season. So NEC is still the better team.
Yeah, I agree with you there. The reason I'm hesitating is because they're on the road, but I agree with you, they're the better team. They have the better goal difference. Go Ahead Eagles, they allow more goals than they score, and that's not good for any team. So at least NEC has a positive goal difference. So if I'm going to trust the team in this game, it's going to be NEC. All right. Next up, Sparta hosting Breda. Sparta wins set at 1.88. Breda wins set at 4.6. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Sparta, they still can't seem to buy a win. Switch coaches doesn't help. 4 straight losses where they got shut out in 2 of those games. They haven't scored more than once in any of those games, but good things are coming when you are hosting Breda. So you probably don't need to score twice to win this game, right?
No, I don't think so. Breda, yeah, they won the last game, but yeah, that was against Almere. That's the worst team in the Eredivisie, of course. So you can't actually, yeah, no, count that as a real test. But Sparta, of course, 4 losses in a row. New coach didn't help yet, but I think this game against Breda, it's the opportunity to win again in longer than a month. So yes, I'll just go for the Sparta win here, and especially because they're playing at home.
Yeah, I'm also jumping on that train, backing Sparta for a win here. All right, next up, RKC hosting Feyenoord. RKC wins set at 10.5. Feyenoord wins set at 1.28. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Kind of a shock. Feyenoord a draw last week against Fortuna. So now you expect them to not drop points, right?
Yes, you would say that, but Feyenoord is also one of the teams that they yeah, the difference is too big between the games. The top games, look, yeah, the game against City, they played against City, that was yeah good. And RKC on the other hand, yeah, the last 5 games, yeah, only lost one, so 2 draws and 2 wins. So yeah, but I think Feyenoord is gonna take revenge this game, and yeah, RKC. I think they play against Feyenoord at a bad time, so um, I will just go for the Feyenoord win.
All right, I agree with you there. I'm not really playing Feyenoord because the value is low, and there are a couple points you touched on that might make it a risky bet, especially at that low of value. So that's the reason why I'm probably not playing Feyenoord, but I would expect them to win this game against the second worst team in the league.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Heracles hosting Fortuna. Heracles wins set at 2.33. Fortuna wins set at 3.3. Line for total goals 2.5. Again, another game where I don't really have a dog in this game. Um, I don't love either team and I don't trust either team. So I'm skipping this game. Are you doing something?
Yeah, I think Fortuna is. If you want to bet this game, I think you should go for Fortuna. Especially I think the way they played against Feyenoord, especially in the Kuip. Heracles, I think together with Almere City and RKC, Almelo is really one of the teams. All the midfield teams can get the points there, and Fortuna is one of those. And 3 games without a win for Fortuna, playing against Almelo. I think this is the best chance to score a few good points again. They're playing away, but that doesn't matter too much for Fortuna. Like you saw, they played against Feyenoord 1-1. But again, 2 away games in a row, a little bit difficult. But against Almelo, I think it's the easiest one for them. So I will just go for a Fortuna win.
All right. You make a couple of valid points. I'm still staying away from that game. All right. Next up, Groningen hosting PEC. Groningen win set at 1.96. PEC win set at 4.25. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now Groningen finally got back to winning ways. 2-0 win against Willem II. And I think back-to-back home games is a good spot for them, especially hosting a team like PEC, who's pretty bad on the road, to say the least. There's this cup game against NEC that they still lost, but where they scored a lot of goals. But that was a cup game, right? If you look at all the league games, there's only been one road game where they've scored more than once. No wins on the road yet. 3 points, that's about it. So good spot to back Groningen, the home team here, and now back them to take back-to-back home wins. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Groningen win or the over 2.5. I think the over 2.5 is also, one of the place you can look at. But I'm also going for Groningen. They seem to be winning their home games now. Yeah, away games are still a little bit too difficult, I think. But at home, Pek Zwolle, yeah, I would just go for the Groningen win.
All right. I agree with you there. Next up, AZ hosting Ajax. AZ wins set at 3.15. Ajax wins set at 2.28. Line filter goal set at 2.5. Now, Ajax, they were involved in midweek action against FC Utrecht, where they played a 2-2 draw. Now, that was at home. Now they go on the road against a team like AZ. Let's, let's get out of the way. AZ hasn't been great this season. But listen, if Utrecht can score two goals with not even 40% ball possession. Ajax should easily score once, maybe twice in this game. We all know that Ajax has some defensive issues, so the over 2.5 probably the best play for this game. But I like the value of Ajax so much, I'm gonna bet them on the money line. What are you doing here?
Yeah, the last four games they played against each other, AZ won three of them. So AZ is also is always a difficult team for Ajax, especially when AZ is playing at home. So the over 2.5, I agree, and the AZ win, yeah, maybe I'm looking more at the draw here, so maybe just play the draw or a double chance for AZ. But the safest way is just to go for the over 2.5.
All right. Now, if you wanna spice the over 2.5 up, you can take us at double chance and the over 2.5 goals. So that should spice things a little bit up. I will also sprinkle something on just a straight out win for Asset. All right. Next up, Willem 2 hosting Heerenveen. Willem 2 wins set at 2.48. Heerenveen wins set at 3.15. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Heerenveen, again, aside from the cup game against IJsselmeer Vogels, where they won 3-2, they're really struggling on the road to say the least. They've lost all the road games, and how is that changing here?
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't think it's. Yeah, yeah. They always have trouble with the away games, especially this one. So I don't know. I actually I'm just thinking to skip this game, but the over 2.5. I think that is also a way to go here. I think we can just go for the over 2.5 if you look at the history between these two.
All right. Yeah, probably the over 2.5 and is the play I'm looking at here in this game. Definitely not backing Heerenveen, but still not too sold on Willem to four straight home games where they haven't won, and three of those they didn't score a goal. So that gives me some trepidation. All right. Next up, Almere City hosting Utrecht. Almere City wins set at 4.9. Utrecht wins set at 1.78. Am I reading this right? 1.78 for Utrecht winning
Yes.
against Almere City. That must be crazy. The books must know something we don't. Line for total goal set at over 2.5. Sergio, what the hell's happening here?
Yes, I don't know. I think FC Utrecht. I think now you can just maybe put your salary on them. Yes, but I think they made a mistake. Utrecht will definitely win this game against Almere City. Utrecht, yeah, during the week against Ajax, the draw. So yeah. Um, and lost against PSV. So yeah, so now it's time for a win, and Almere City is the perfect opponent. I don't think we disagree on that. So it will just be a FC Utrecht win and maybe an easy one. So the over 2.5. Yeah, that's also something to look at.
Like the only possible explanation for me is like Utrecht is playing back-to-back road games on a short week. So that's like the only possible logical explanation. But still, against the worst team in the league, how can you get this much value? I don't get it. Like I said, like you said, probably a mistake. So I'll be looking to take advantage of that. I'm also taking Utrecht for a win.
Yeah.
All right. Let's now that wraps up the Eredivisie. Let's get to Serie A. First game on the schedule: Genoa hosting Torino, and the first game immediately a game I'm not betting. Genoa wins set at 2.4, Torino at 3.4. Line for Torino set at 2.5, but again over 2.5. 2.5 under 2.5, 1.54. So they're just expecting the under 2.5, and so am I. Not expecting goals in this game. What are you doing?
No, I agree. This game is looks like a draw also. So yeah, over 2.5, no way. So I'm gonna skip this game.
All right. Next up, Juventus hosting Bologna. Juventus wins set at 1.71. Bologna wins set at 5.5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Juventus, Bologna, Thiago Motta playing against his old team. So if you look at the style of these two teams, you just have to pound the under 2.5 goals, right? And Juventus,
Yeah.
yeah, you just have to pound the under 2.5 goals. And if I wasn't so salty about Juventus drawing against Lecce and even conceding a goal in the dying seconds that just
Oh man,
absolutely
that
ruined
hurt
my
me.
Sunday, Juventus would be my best bet. What are you doing, Sergio?
Yeah, no, like Leipzig, I'm also skipping Juventus this weekend. Yeah, it was yeah, very disappointing. The only two teams I thought that were really going to win, those are the one that spoiled the weekend. So no, no, Juventus is sitting on the bench also the next 2 or 3 weeks.
They're on timeout. All right. Next up, Roma hosting Lecce. Roma wins set at 1.57. Lecce wins set at 6.4. Line for Turgo set at 2.5. Another game where I'm just looking at the under 2.5. I'm not sure either of these teams scores in this game. But if I have to pick one, I'm just gonna take Roma. New coach bump hasn't paid out yet. They haven't won yet under the new coach. And actually, if they've really struggled against Atalanta, man, they barely had a pulse in that game. Just one shot on goal. Um, I guess against a team like Lecce, it's just the perfect opponent to pick up 3 points. But they're just one spot above Lecce in the standings. But that's crazy, right?
But they have the same amount of points. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
are you doing something here?
no, man, I'm also hesitant. The under 2.5, like you said, I would maybe think about that, but no, it's Roma. I don't know what's happening with them this season. Um, so yeah, but Lecce won't win. That's for sure. But I can't say Roma will also. So a draw maybe, but Roma has to win this game. So at home, haven't won in 6 or 7. So yeah, this is a opportunity for them to win. So that's why I think the odd is just 1.57, but just too low for me to take that risk.
All right. I agree with you there. Next up, Fiorentina hosting Cagliari. Fiorentina wins set at 1.52. Cagliari wins set at 6.75. Line for Torgo set at 2.5. Now, I'm not gonna bet this game this weekend just out of principles. The Fiorentina game against Inter last week got cancelled midway through the game because a player collapsed. So I'm just not betting this game. Are you doing something here?
Mhm. Yeah, I understand what you mean, but Fiorentina also another team I like to bet on, and Cagliari, yeah, is also one of those teams that yeah, that can just suddenly just do something great. So yeah, I'm the over 2.5. That's also a little bit too risky, I think, this time. So I'm also gonna skip this game.
All right. Next up, Hellas Verona hosting Empoli. Verona wins set at 2.63. Empoli wins set at 3.4. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, listen, when you get two teams that are playing against each other, and for either of them to win the game, you get an odd of over 2.5. That just means this game's gonna end in a draw, right? There's no
As
way
usual.
no way there's a winner in this game. 2.8 for a draw. That's
Yeah.
just crazy. it tells you everything you need to know. This game is going to end in a draw. Empoli, I know there's in the top 10. Like, yeah, they're 10, so basically they're in the top 10. But 10 is also the number of goals they have scored in 14 games. So don't really trust them to go on the road and score too many goals here. And Verona is just a bad team. So a draw for me here. Are you doing something?
Yeah, well, a draw or the under 2.5. That's also possible because I think it will be a 0-0 game, but okay. We'll just go for the under 2.5 or just skip it.
All right. Next up, Venezia hosting Como. Venezia wins set at 2.75. Como wins set at 2.65. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, just two absolutely horrible teams. And that's also a spot where I don't like to put my money on. Venezia, four straight losses. They haven't scored in three of those games. The other game, they scored one goal. And tells you everything you need to know. While Como is the last time they won was back in September, and right now we're 2 months further. So um, don't trust either of these teams. Um, big chance for a draw, also, right?
Yeah, big chance for a draw, but I have to say, Jeff Fabregas was a way better player than he's a coach. So yes, yes, he can't seem to put a game together for Como. So yeah, I'm also gonna skip this one. This weekend in Italy, it's really not much to gain here. So this game, I'm also gonna skip.
All right. The next one is one I like. Napoli hosting Lazio. Napoli wins set at 1.87. Lazio wins set at 4.5. Line for the goal set at 2.5. Now, the teams played just a couple days ago in the Cup, in the Coppa Italia. Lazio won 3-1. But the game was a lot closer than the score indicated. So now Napoli returns home. Will be looking to take advantage of that. I'm just gonna back Napoli for a win here. And if you look at Napoli, how they're playing their games, especially when they're playing at home, won't allow too many goals. So the under 2.5 is also something I'm looking at here. What are you doing?
Yeah, the last time Napoli won a game against Lazio was in 22. So that's a while ago. Otherwise, it was just a draw or a Lazio win. So mm, so I think there's a chance that Napoli now turns the table at 1.87, and they're playing at home. Mm. You can maybe take that risk, but I'm not that sure. I'm only looking at the over 2.5. I think I'll think that's the way I'll go this game.
No, I'm staying away from the over 2.5. Napoli, they've allowed just 9 goals on the season. They've also just scored 21. I know 21's a lot, and they're like 1.5 goals a game, but for a team that's second, that's not a lot of goals, right? They scored the least amount of goals for the teams in the top five. So the under 2.5 is the play I'm looking at. And Napoli for a win, just looking at a revenge spot after losing in the midweek game. But over 2.5, definitely not taking that. All
Yeah,
right.
but last usually they score against Napoli, so
Yeah, I will give you that. Lazio's a high scoring team, 29 goals scored. So could give them a goal in this game. But then again, could also finish 1-1. So um I'm just gonna say it. I don't like the over 2.5, right? So Napoli will defend the heck out of this game. And obviously, you know who Napoli's coach is, so don't need to say anything else. All right. Next up, Monza hosting Udinese. Monza wins set at 2.85. Udinese wins set at 2.9. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, usually we just give you the lines on wins and wins for either team, but this line is so crazy, I just have to name them all. Monza wins 2.85. A draw, 2.95. Udinese wins 2.90. Over 2.5 goals, 2.6. Like that just tells you everything you need to know in this game. Like the over 2.5, Monza win, a draw, and Udinese win, basically all just to pick them, right? And you can't pick. between four pick'ems, right? So that's just crazy. So not betting this game, also a Monday game, so we just have to skip this one, right?
Yes, I think just the bet center is telling you to skip it. That's the way they tell you.
Yeah. All right. That wraps up Serie A. Let's get to La Liga. First game on the schedule. Las Palmas hosting Real Valladolid. Las Palmas win set at 1.83. Valladolid win set at 4.7. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Las Palmas not a great team, but Valladolid is so bad that I just have to take Las Palmas at home, right? Valladolid, worst team in the league, can't score goals, and but they do allow goals, 32 goals allowed. So you just have to take Las Palmas here, right?
Yeah. I'll go for Las Palmas also. I think Las Palmas is at against Valladolid. This should be not too easy, but it should be a game that they could win with quite a little bit more ease. So yeah, I'm going for Las Palmas here.
All right. Next up, Real Betis hosting Barcelona. Betis win set at 5.5. Barcelona win set at 1.58. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, I know there was a time where Barcelona going on the road against Betis was a tough spot, but not this Betis team, right? Betis is just absolutely awful. Won a game against St. Andrew. This was in the Copa del Rey, so we shouldn't count that. Before that, three straight losses against Sociedad, a team that kind of struggles to score goals. Then they lost against Mlada Boleslav, and before that they lost against Valencia. And Valencia was also just sitting dead last before that win. So Betis, not the same team they were a couple of years ago. You just have to back Barcelona in this spot, right?
Yeah, but Barcelona, I think the last six games, were a little bit, ups and down, with the loss against Sociedad, draw against Celta, and then, of course, against Las Palmas, losing again. So, yeah, I don't, yeah, I'm not that sure that Barca can just go to Betis and win it. But then again, if you look at the last six games they played against each other, Barcelona won them all. But still, Barcelona the last six games, I'm not that convinced it will be that easy.
Yeah,
So
I get what you're saying, but let's just dive into those games. Against Sociedad, they lost 1-0. But the Lewandowski goal that got that got disallowed was just he was not offside, man. Let's just get that. And if that goal stands, it's just a completely different game. Now against Celta, they were up 2-0, received a red card. Celta scores two goals within a 2-minute span. So kind of crazy. The one against Las Palmas, I can't defend it. It was a bad loss, but still they pretty much dominated that game. Expected goals over two, 8 shots on goal, 27 shots total. Well, Las Palmas just had 3 shots on goal, so kind of a fluky game. You have those games once or twice a season. So not here to really defend Barcelona, but they haven't been that bad as the win-loss record would suggest. So, taking Barcelona for a win here, that should be the play. All right.
but stay away from the over 3.5. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree there. All right. Next up, Valencia hosting Rayo. Valencia wins set at 2.17. Rayo wins set at 4.25. Line for third goal set at 2.5. But over 2.5 is close to 3, 2.88, and under 2.5 is 1.42. So basically, they're not expecting too many goals in this game, and neither am I. Uh, Rayo averages 1 goal a game, and Valencia also 1 goal a game. So that gives you a 1-1 draw. That's about it in this game. What are you doing here?
Yeah, but I was still thinking of a Valencia win. I think Valencia, is they are. It looks like they're getting a few things together. The 19th, they still need to, score a lot of points to really get out of trouble. So I think against Rayo Vallecano, they'll take a chance, especially at home. Yeah, it's a good chance for them to get another 3 points. Yeah, so I'll I'll try a Valencia win this weekend.
I'm not. Listen, man, Falacia, I know they won three out of the last four games, but the one win against Betis, I call that one. The other two wins against CP Parla, Copa del Rey, and the other one against, how do you pronounce this? EGA? I don't know. But that's about it. Don't think they have turned the table. Obviously, I'm not convinced they have. Two out of those three wins were just against B level, C level opponents. Rayo is at least a solid opponent for Valencia, so not convinced they will win this game. So actually, just staying away from this game. Like I said, I expect a low scoring game. All right. Next up, Girona hosting Real Madrid. Girona wins set at 4.8. Madrid wins set at 1.73. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, I'm gonna bet these games single, but I'm also gonna parlay them because I love it so much. Real Madrid winning and Manchester City winning. They're just really undervalued at the moment. Like I know Real Madrid is struggling, but Girona is not a good team. So going on the road, don't care. 1.73 for Real Madrid. This man, I just have to smash that. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I agree. Real Madrid, and I think this is a very very good chance for them to at least get a little bit confidence out of it. Yeah, because it's not going that well for them, and especially I don't know who's the next opponent in the Champions League.
Let me check that real quickly. But doesn't
Because
matter what the opponent is, they're in a must-win spot in
yeah,
Champions League. They're playing against Atalanta.
yeah. Look. So it's not gonna be an easy one for them. So also against Atalanta. So
No,
I think
Atalanta may be
they
one of
really
the
need.
hottest teams right now.
Yeah, so they really need this win against Girona. So I agree with you. So I think I'll just put Real Madrid and FC Utrecht. Those two are the ones that that you can really parlay and you'll get a good odd.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about Utrecht. I thought of Real Madrid and Manchester City. Manchester City playing Crystal Palace, of course.
Yeah,
Um,
of course. Then those three then. But
I'll definitely take Real Madrid and City. I'll probably put Utrecht also.
mm,
Yeah, should give you some good odds, right?
yeah,
Usually I don't make too many parlays, but this man, those and those are just absolutely three teams. They're just undervalued at the moment, right? Right.
yeah. So
So
you have to go for those.
all right. Next up, Leganes hosting Real Sociedad. Leganes win set at 4.75. Sociedad win set at 1.95. Line for goal set at 2.5. Now, another game where two teams are playing that really have trouble scoring. Neither of these teams averages a goal a game. So, how do we get goals in this game, Sergio?
By I think. I already looked at the Real Sociedad. Just stay away from the over 2.5. I think this will just be a one goal game. Um, yeah, the history between these two, yeah, it shows difference, or yeah, something different. But I think now these two teams are not in that great of shape. Yeah, okay, Real Sociedad, they did win. Five out of the last six games they played. Yeah, but still not a team to trust, especially not on the road. And Leganes is one of those teams that can just also do something you don't expect out of nowhere. So I'll uh, I'll just go for a Real Sociedad win, but I'll just keep it at that. Not a
Yeah,
2.5 or something.
I agree with you. Stay away from the over 2.5. Sociedad, they won 5 out of 6, but only one game where we saw over 2.5 goals. And that was a Copa del Rey game against Jove Espanyol. So, Sociedad, not a team that scores too many goals, and Leganes scores even less. So, really don't trust either team. And when you don't score, it's tough to win on the road. So, that's a reason why I'm not backing Sociedad here. Gone to my head, I'd probably take Sociedad, but won't be one of my bets for this weekend. All right. Next up, Athletic Bilbao hosting Villarreal. Bilbao win set at 1.92. Villarreal win set at 4. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Bilbao coming off a great win against Real Madrid 2-1 and now four straight wins. Well, Villarreal, three straight games where they didn't win. I liked them last week against Girona. They kind of gave that game away. Lost in midweek against Pontevedra. So also a bad spot. They don't have the rest advantage. They go on the road, and Villarreal they've already allowed 23 goals. So you know what happens when a bad defense travels on the road. They kind of get exposed. So you just have to take Bilbao here, right?
Yeah, Bilbao and back-to-back home games against Real Madrid, I think was the most difficult one. Villarreal will be a little bit easier. I think I just hope that Bilbao is still with their feet on the ground because yeah, otherwise Villarreal can surprise, but still under normal circumstances, Bilbao will just win this game.
All right. Next up, Osasuna hosting Alaves. Osasuna win set at 2.07. Alaves win set at 3.8. Light for total goal set at 2.5. Um, Now, Alaves on the road is a team you just can't trust. The last eight games on the road, they won one. And again, that was also a Copa del Rey game against Compostela. Osasuna, they've showed flashes, signs of a good team, especially at home. Last week, kind of unfortunate. Last home game, kind of unfortunate. A 2-2 draw against Villarreal. They were up 2-0. But this is a good spot for them. Hosting a team that really can't seem to buy a win on the road. So you just have to take Osasuna here, right?
Yeah, I agree. I'll just go for the Osasuna win. They're playing at home, and they're playing against number 16 in the league. So yeah, Osasuna number 7. So yeah, Alaves I think 3 losses out of 4 games. Yeah, so I think it's a another chance for Osasuna to get back-to-back points. Although it was a Copa del Rey game against yeah, an easy team, but still, Alaves they should win this one. Yeah, I mean against Alaves.
All right. I agree with you. Next up, Atletico Madrid hosting Sevilla. Atletico Madrid win set at 1.38. Sevilla win set at 8.5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, obviously, Atletico Madrid is the better team in this game. They have the better players. They're the better team. They're in better form, eight straight wins. But the eight straight wins makes me kind of feel like a letdown is coming. So the value is not too low, but still low at 1.38. So probably parlay them with another team. But that's about all I'm looking at in this game. Or are you doing something?
Yeah, no, yeah, okay. Of course, the last game they played against each other, Sevilla won, even, but I don't think that will happen this time. Yeah, Atletico Madrid, they won't lose this one. I think it will maybe be the one after this one against Sevilla. Sevilla's just just a team that's not in any way or form ready to win against a team like Atletico Madrid. So I'll just go for the Atletico win. But yeah, like you said, just a little bit too low. So I'm not gonna bet this game.
All right. Next up, Getafe hosting Espanyol. Getafe wins set at 1.82. Espanyol wins set at 5.75. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Another Monday game, another game where two teams very close to each other in the standings are playing number 17 and number 18. Neither of these teams are good and they're playing on a Monday. So we don't have any Monday games, picks for Monday games this weekend, right? So should we keep it like that?
Yeah, I'll keep it like that. So
All
I'm
right. I'm gonna join you in that one. So also skipping this Monday game. All right. Now that wraps up La Liga and that wraps up all picks and leans for this upcoming week. Quick recap for the bets I really like. City to win, I like Manchester United to win, Juventus to win, Real Madrid to win. Um, like like I said, I was kind of gonna skip them, but I'll still take them. Leipzig to win, and I'll parlay Leverkusen with Dortmund and Gladbach, both teams to score. What do you guys say, Joe?
Yeah, I think I'm going for Las Palmas, Groningen, Sparta Rotterdam, of course, Brentford, like you said. Brentford, also NEC, Brighton, and of course, Manchester City.
All right. Now, like we always say, guys, bet smart, bet with your head, set your limits, and stay within your means. Have a great weekend and obviously a profitable weekend, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah, good weekend, everybody.